Alright, this video is going to be a little late because I did not have time to do the writing session in the morning. I had to do it in the afternoon, so that's why this video is late. Not a good day for focus altogether, and sometimes that happens. Some days are better than others. Today we will be finally setting the word count. I noticed in my first video that I didn't really do that, so I started looking up, okay, this is a young adult thriller. What is the industry standard for the word count? And there's nothing. Every single place I looked, there was like hundreds of word counts. Every single place I looked had different word counts for what genre, what category. So let's start with, why are word counts important in general? Well, personally, I use word counts to judge my books, so I'm not overwriting things or underwriting things. It kind of gives me a goal to reach, sort of like a guideline to how structured the story could be, because I could write the most obscure detail possible for every single little thing and go off on here and there tangents that just make it boring to the reader, and you don't want to do that. So what I did is I found some of these word counts, and for the young adult category, it says that between 50,000 words and 80,000 words is a standard. Now that's a giant gap, but between the thriller category, it's even worse. It's between 65,000 and 130,000 words as the industry standard for this book, for this genre. And even when you look up categories like how many words is flash fiction, novelettes, novellas, and novels, these numbers are also not really set in stone, but their variation is less so. And if books and writing in general has been around for literally hundreds of years, you would think that they have a more concrete way to categorize all of these books, right? I mean, how do you know when something's overwritten or underwritten? Or when one book should really become two books just to make it easier to read. Let's take an example like Narnia. It tells one continuous story all in a row, and it's not one book, it's several other books. Or the Percy Jackson series, the original Percy Jackson series, where that's 5 books telling one story. So how do you really know where the cutoff is? And right now, that's kind of left up to the writer themselves. I asked a couple of writers what they think of word count, and I got something that was kind of surprising, where they cared more about the page count than the word count itself. They said where the word count should matter is in the chapters, and I totally agree. For my romance novel, I set a goal of around 2,000 words per chapter, because 2,000 words you can get done in like 20-30 minutes. And I think that's a really good size for a chapter, because then you're not spending like an hour or 45 minutes reading a single chapter. And for those who don't have a lot of time in their schedule because they're doing other things, it's super easy to put down the book at one chapter, pick it up at the start of the next. And you have people who can like crush out a whole book in 2 days nonstop. It's no issue. And that's where I guess longer chapters would be good. And what's the worst thing a reader has to do? Read multiple chapters in one sitting? The people who are going to read a lot are going to do that anyways. So based on everything that I could find, the only people who really, truly, actually care about what your word count is big house publishers who see if something is overwritten or underwritten and how marketable that book is. And I know most publishers, they have like rules when they're picking up first time authors, and like they won't let you publish a series because they don't want to take a chance on the first one flopping, but they signed a book contract to print a whole series. One thing I would say is, if you have a novel that's over 135,000 words, I would consider putting it into 2 parts. I'm gonna go off of the 60 to 80k range for the young adult genre, but since thriller has a little higher overall, I'm gonna go with an 80k to 90k range for this book in particular. I think that is a pretty good number in 90 days. That is very reasonable to do, and we'll see. Maybe I'll have a couple good days where I can crush that out no problem. Yeah, that's kind of today's video. I'll catch you on the flip side.